course, it's Cub Swanson. Finally got him back on again. I want to put on my Cub Swanson hat and wear my Cub Swanson T-shirt for this. I always try to, but then I realized that my wife has my hat still, and my shirt I think she wore yesterday. So yeah, I got nothing. Cub, I got nothing. I got to buy more stuff now.
You can't argue with that, right?
I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's just obviously just over the hat. Yeah. Is that the new one?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that set. Yeah, I gotta get back online and buy some more. It's just I just keep bitching at her to stop wearing my stuff and it doesn't help. So I end up losing it all the time anime. She actually wears it to work. It's her favorite hat to wear to work, which is craziness. Yeah, so I never get to wear it at all ever. So anyway, we've been missing each other for the last couple days, 3-4 days, just time scheduling, what have you. And then I realized, yeah, it's media. You know, it's fight week. Stuff's happening. But then you added a little text to me. Goes, yeah, plus main event duties, which people forget about. When you're in the main event, there's so much more crap that you have to do on top of getting ready for the fight. Take us through a couple of the extra things that you have to do as a main event fighter.
Just the media starts earlier. I think I started last week. Last week I did media calls, all international. Then on Monday, I had stuff to do. So yeah, this time because it's a fight night, it's mostly just radio tours. You know, pick up your phone and you got to do an hour straight of radio interviews, which is the worst. Just because they wake me up early in the morning and they're like, good morning, this is such and such radio, you know, and I'm like, I'm not gonna wait for this, and this is like some morning show on the East Coast, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm pumped.
And they're super excited. All those morning show DJs, they're super excited. They've been up since 3 in the morning their time. They're just waking you up. You're like, dude, this is just crazy. Like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah. And so, like, in my international media, they had somebody from UFC Mexico run it. And so I had this girl from Mexico, barely spoke English, and then transferred me. She kept hanging up on me. And then she transferred me to a lady in Korea, and I could barely understand her. And then when you do the three-way on cell phones, sometimes you can barely hear, and I could barely understand her English. And I was like, I kept saying, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? It was crazy.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing. When I was doing the in-rings after the fights for Pride, the hardest would be the translator. And you see Joe have to go through it all the time when the translators are coming in, and Brian Stan have to do it when the translators come in. And it's a really difficult task. I can't even imagine. I don't think I've ever done an interview where it's been like a three-way. Like I got bounced into somebody else, and their English is bad as well. Like I got to be honest, I have a hard time calling into customer service. And if their English isn't clear, I'm like, dude, transfer me or I'm gonna hang up. Like I'm not dealing with you. I just can't do it because I have such a hard time hearing anyway on the phone.
Yeah.
And adding in bad, you know, really, really thick accent throws me off, man. It throws me off my game entirely. You know.
Yeah, I feel you.
So you just got to Nashville today. You're on your way to the grocery store, and then you can't go because traffic is so bad. And Nashville's a pretty hot town, and there's a lot of tough stuff. I have a couple of friends that live there. They're coming to the fights, and they're like, yeah, it's tough to get around. It's tough to go to all the events because traffic is kind of rough. So are you on a timetable that I have to eat every 2 or 3 hours? I have a particular amount of food I have to eat. So if you can't get to the grocery store right now, does it kind of throw you off your game? Or is it like, I got enough right here to handle me till I can get there?
No, I'm a veteran, so I packed an avocado and these quinoa rice cakes.
Okay.
In my backpack, so I just happen to have them. Plus, I have like protein stuff like that. So I put like protein and greens in my water, so that way when I'm eating real small meals throughout the day, especially doing all the media, I'm also drinking a few calories and good fats and stuff's going into my system like all day. That way I don't like, hit a wall at any point.
What's you just got there. There's always that plain bloat, that it wasn't too far to fight though for you, so it wasn't too bad. But have you had a chance to even step on a scale yet? Or you literally just got in the hotel and?
Yeah, I'm ahead of schedule. I brought a scale and I just found out my scale was a pound heavy because I had just bought it, and which made me happy. So I weighed in at 158, which there's been a lot of times I've been like 163,
Wow.
and so 158, I was like, hell yeah. because I wanted to come in a little lighter because I'm doing 5 rounds. You know, I don't really, you know, it starts to wear on you at the end of the fight. So
Yeah.
wanted to be a little bit lighter, have a little bit easier of a weight cut to be able to do the 5.5s.
No, I have noticed when I'm reffing, I look at these two fighters on paper and I'm like, wow, these guys are going to be outstanding. These are going to be incredible fighters. And I'm not doing your main events yet. I'm not qualified yet for that level, but I'm doing undercard stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
these guys, like on paper, these guys are nuts. Like, this is going to be an incredible fight. And it's getting to the third round, and you're like, oh yeah, these guys cut way too much weight. Like they are falling apart. I'm watching these guys fall apart inside the ring. And you coming a little bit lighter for this is smart for a 5-rounder, because then you need to save that energy or have the energy, not save it, but have the energy for 4th and 5th round. How much more taxing, though, did it make the training camp to get your weight down? You're saying you're 5 pounds lighter than you normally are at this time. How much harder was training camp, or how much more difficult was it during training camp to get your weight to that point?
Well, it's just about cutting out the small things, you know, further out. I think the hardest days I had were last week when I really started cutting things out and I wasn't seeing a drop. And so I had to do it like 3 or 4 days in a row, started getting grumpy. And then I started eating a little more, and then boom, it just dropped. So uh, it's weird. The older I've gotten, I've been smarter, you
Okay.
know, obviously. And training camps have been easier. Like I have hard days, but I also give my body time to rest. So I just don't have hard day after hard day after hard day. So I do like 14-week camps, and it's like I do a pre-camp, and then the first stage of my camp, and then the next stage of my camp. So the days that I need to just take off, and then when it gets closer to my fight, and I'm already like firing off, I'm already feeling good. I'm like, man, I'm chilling, you know.
Okay.
So
And
it's been
it
easier.
has worked. It's because you can see the difference in your performance as you got it. Part of it, I used to think, oh, it's just skill. It's just from being in the ring and having ring time. He's getting better. But from what you explained to me now, it's really that you're getting smarter. That you're getting
Yeah,
smarter with your body. Did you have
yeah.
to sit down and learn it, or was it something that came to you? Oh, this is what I need to do, or was there like I went to a seminar, or read a book, or what brought you to this point to be like, you know what, today I need to take a, because that's not something fighters do. Fighters don't go, I'm doing okay, I'm all right, I'm gonna take a half day off. Like fighters don't do that. Fighters are like, no, I need to go 2 more rounds.
Yeah, well, see, and I spend so much time thinking about like how I could be better and the philosophy of fighting and training. And the one thing I've realized is that as a young fighter, you have to go beyond and push through and see what you're made of. And all those guys that don't really have what it takes will fall off, you know. And but then you get to a point where that insecurity goes away and you believe in yourself and you believe in your training and you trust it, where a lot of young guys are like, no, my opponent, he's training harder than me, I got to go to the gym right now. I could care less what my opponent's doing because I know what I'm capable of, and I know that if I pushed it harder than I did the last camp, then he can't beat me. So I don't care what he's doing, and it takes a lot of stress off.
I want to go back a second. You said something about it. You do a pre-camp, then you start an early camp, and like you have stages. How far out now are you starting your training camps?
Like I said, I like 14 weeks.
Okay.
um, I like I like 4 weeks of mentally, you know, preparing it, and it's like I take things out of my schedule and I'm training at least twice a day, just by either pushing it or just running and just taking it responsibly, and I'm dieting already. Um, I'll have a cheat meal here and there, but I'm already like mentally okay. You're in fight camp, okay, and then once the UFC usually won't confirm a fight until about 10 weeks sometimes. So then once I sign that dotted line, it's like I already got a running start, and then I'll do usually another 4 hard weeks back home, and then I'll usually go out to Albuquerque, and I'm trying to be as good as I possibly could be before I get to Albuquerque, so that when I get out to Jackson's, I'm already firing and I'm ready to just, take it up a notch from there.
First couple of days suck at Jackson's because of the altitude, or are you such in good shape when you get there that the altitude doesn't even bother you anymore?
No, it's weird. The first week it's all lungs, and I always push it. They try to give me like a couple like conditioning tests, I always get sick because I push it. Like this time we did I had to do an hour workout and then I did a mile on the Airdyne bike in 3 minutes, and it's
Wow.
like almost impossible. I did 3 minutes 12 seconds, and it doesn't sound hard, but man, at altitude,
Yeah.
like I started at the second minute, I was seeing like I thought I was gonna pass out. My body was numb, like the lack of oxygen, and I pushed through, and then I was sick for like 3 days, just coughing. My lungs, I blew them out. So the next week, the second week, my lungs felt great, but my body, that's my body's not recovering like it normally would because the oxygen is not getting to my muscles. So by the third week, I'm feeling great. And I'm killing it already.
And then you leave, and then you have a great week, and then you take off for the fight, right? At that point.
Yeah, I'm usually there at least 4 weeks. So I usually have a couple weeks of feeling really good and just pushing it. And I usually do at least 2 days of just like really crappy conditioning, if not 3 days a week.
Okay. Yeah, that those repetitive, just keep going until your body falls apart. Conditioning sessions are the
Yeah,
worst,
and
mentally
I
and
always do
physically.
that, and I always do that like after sparring and stuff because one thing I've learned is that I refuse to spar unless I feel great because
Okay.
there's so many times in going into fights that I was like tired and I went and sparred. I do good on Tuesday and then I spar Thursday and I'm like I'm already tired, and then some kid that I beat up all the time starts piecing me up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I start doubting myself. So like if I spar once in the week and I kill it, see you next week.
Yeah.
I'm doing pads, I'm drilling, I'm rolling, just whatever it takes. Um, but I'm not gonna spar again. I don't need to. I only spar when I feel good. But the conditioning sessions, I'm only pushing what I got. I'm not getting punched in the face, so I can do that when I'm a little bit fatigued.
That makes
Because
sense.
a lot of it's mental. So when I'm competing against myself, I'll do it no problem. But if I'm competing against someone else, it's like no, I'm gonna be prepared.
I like how that works, man. Cub, that's actually a really smart idea. And then I know a lot of guys are like, no, I had a good one on Tuesday. I'm gonna go spar again on Thursday, and I
Yeah,
tuned up on Thursday, which means now we're sparring on Saturday. You're like, well,
yeah,
you're getting worse as the week goes along. Why don't you back off? Just take some
yeah.
time off.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing is I'd kill it early in the week. By the end of the week, I didn't perform. Then the whole weekend, I'm obsessing about how I didn't perform, and then that beginning of the week, I kick the crap out of everybody, and I'm feeling good again. And the end of the week, I don't perform, and then it's that vicious cycle where I don't even put myself in that situation anymore.
You don't spar more than twice a week though, right? No matter what's going on, no matter how good things are.
Yeah, no, that's the max, twice a week, and just because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's too much damage. I think we do as a whole as a group. The
Yeah,
fighters MMA spar too much for
yeah,
what we're trying to get done.
yeah, and it's like one, you're putting out a lot like physically, but then also mentally trying to concentrate and really focus. If you do that too many times in a week, you start to go, oh, I do this every day. Oh, I got hit. Oh well.
Yeah.
But when you spar a couple times a week, you're maybe once a week, you're so focused, and you're like every time you get hit, you're like, I shouldn't get hit. You're just
Yeah.
every little piece of it, you're just more attentive to. You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense. I like it. Cub, thanks. I know you got to get to the grocery store. I appreciate you coming on here, man. I appreciate it so much because I know fight week, it sucks. It's tough to be
Yeah,
around. You're
yeah.
cutting weight. You're trying to get your food. And then add in all the extra crap you had to do on top of it. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I always I get hit up all the time for interviews, stuff like that, and I always try to people that have always been good to me. I always try to take care of them. So I appreciate you. You always repping my brand, and I'm being cool to me. So you're one of the first people I ever saw fight live. So that means something to me too.
That's fucking awesome, man. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it because it's fun because you're fun to talk to and it's easy to talk to you. It's not like it's a drawing. I'm fine. I feel good. You're like, come on, man. Like I want to have a conversation with you, and you're easy. So you make
Yeah.
my day
Well,
easy.
you're asking me cool questions. It's like the nerdy fight stuff. I like that. Ask me, like how do you feel? What do you want me to say?
Did you just call me a nerd? Did you just slide that underneath the table? You just called me a nerd? I'll take
I'm a
it.
nerd. You're
I'll
not a
take it.
fighting.
I'm a super nerd. Like people don't realize it. That's one of my little closet superpowers. I'm a super nerd. People just don't kind of keep it hidden. But yeah, like I'm a total nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll get you off the air, man. Thanks so much, Cub. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week, man, and I can't wait to watch you fight.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Take care.
Bye.